Welcome to the Inception Method Attitude Training, which is the foundation of successful inception. In this training, you will learn techniques in mastering your own thoughts and emotions, which in turn will improve your ability to maintain a positive, productive attitude on purpose. Attitude controls your outcome, as we mentioned in the overview video. You can't direct the wind, but you can adjust the sails. And we talked a little bit about this in the previous video that you watched, but it's very important that we go back to it again because we need to understand that we do have more control over our feelings than what we think we do. Without a proper attitude, the Inception method will not work at all. So, does your everyday attitude directly affect your everyday success? If so, how? Now, normally we would have a discussion, but since this is a video, I'm going to let you do a lot of thinking while I'm going to tell you some of my thoughts and my conclusions as well. Now, according to a recent Harvard study performed in the workplace, the brain is like a single processor in a computer. It can make conscious or unconscious decisions for happiness. The more negative we are, the less able our brain is to overcome the challenges we actually have. The positive brain is 31% more productive than when the brain is negative, neutral, or distressed. We actually can control our attitude, and because our attitude does affect our success, and these studies have shown that. Think back in your life when things have not gone your way during the day or when you've had a bad day. I can almost guarantee that most of the things got worse and worse and worse as your attitude previously got worse to the action. It's very important that we can work on adjusting our sails or adjusting our attitude. Being mindful of your thoughts and feelings puts the mind in an ideal state for being aware and, more importantly, controlling your attitude. The first step in controlling your emotions or your attitude is being mindful of what you're thinking and how you're feeling. We can't even begin to change our attitudes if we're not aware of what we're thinking and feeling. So before we respond negatively, we want to think about, how am I feeling? What is on my mind right now? And if those thoughts or feelings are imposing your ability to work successfully or your ability to be successful, then you are essentially getting in your own way. So be aware of what you're thinking, be aware of what you're feeling, and being aware of those things is the very first step into controlling your attitude or adjusting your sails. Here's another discussion that we normally have, but we're going to just have you guys think about it as I talk to you a little bit. So, what were some of the thoughts and feelings you had when you woke up this morning? This is a great question to ask yourself every single day. In fact, I even recommend writing those down. And then, what were some of the thoughts and feelings you had when you came into work today? Once again, if you can, write those thoughts and feelings down too. What were some of the thoughts and feelings you had when you came into this particular training? That's very important because what you're thinking and feeling before you come into this training is going to directly affect how you perceive this training and what you'll take from it. What are some of the common thoughts and feelings you have when dealing with customers? Be honest with yourself about this. When you are dealing with a customer, what do you normally think about and how do you normally feel? Are you angry? Are you irritated? Are you bored? Are you not paying attention? Are you focused and involved? Are you putting yourself in their situation? Be very, very honest and real with yourself on what the common thoughts and feelings you generally have when dealing with customers. Honesty will help you improve your attitude and therefore will improve your success. So what do you think of some of the common thoughts and feelings your customers may have when dealing with you? That's even a more interesting question. We don't always think about what other people are feeling when dealing with us. This is going to help you put things into perspective for your success at work. In fact, one of the best ways we can control our attitude and control the way we behave in regarding customer interactions is what we perceive them feeling about us. So if you feel like your customers are irritated with you, that might explain why you might feel irritated with them, because they're irritated with you. So it's kind of like a domino effect or a butterfly effect. Your actions, your attitude is reflected by what they say and by what they do. So think about what they're feeling and think about why are they feeling that way. Are you helping those feelings? Are you making those feelings even worse? Are you promoting their negative feelings or behavior towards you? There's a definite symbiotic relationship going on when dealing with customers, and a lot of it we can control, if not most of it. Okay, I want you to imagine two glasses. One glass is full of vinegar, white vinegar, and another glass is full of water. Knowing that one of them is vinegar, but not knowing which one, are you willing to take a sip of one or a taste of one? Most likely you're probably not, unless you really love the taste of vinegar. I'm not one of those people. Now, take a tablespoon of vinegar and put it into a glass of water. In fact, let's pull out 2 more glasses of water. And let's put a tablespoon of vinegar in each of those glasses of water. Now that you are aware that there is vinegar in each of the glass of water, while you know that one's got the higher concentration of vinegar and the others are significantly diluted, would you still be able to taste the vinegar in the water that's been contaminated by the vinegar? You would, wouldn't you? The water is going to be less appetizing or less appealing for you to take a drink of. Well, that's kind of how we are with our offers with customers. If we have just a slightest bit of negative attitude, that can taint our presentation and it can taint the offers that we make to our customers. So make sure that we don't taint the water with vinegar. It's going to really affect in how the customer views you and how the customer responds to you. Now, what if we added a little bit of superficiality to the poor attitude or to the vinegar? So let's take a little bit of sugar. How's that, a tablespoon of sugar? And you add it to the vinegar. Do you think you're still going to be able to detect the vinegar even with the sugar in it? You definitely will. This is an interesting experiment to try at home if you're brave enough to try it. But that's what happens when we try to sugarcoat our negative attitude with a fake smile or a fake happy tone or a fake presentation. The negative attitude is still detectable by the customer. And that's really something that you need to consciously be aware of in every interaction with your customers. That's why it's so important to be real with our customers, but to be real without the attitude. So remember, first we need to focus on what we're thinking and feeling before we can get rid of it. And then we need to be aware of what the customer is saying and doing and how the customer is feeling about us. Now, a poor attitude is very easily spread. Just like adding a tablespoon of vinegar from the concentrated vinegar to the other glasses of water, while it might not be as concentrated with some people as is with others, it's still detectable and it's easily spread. And a poor attitude is hard to be covered up even with sugar or even with a little bit of superficiality. Poor attitude of one person makes customers wary of dealing with anyone else associated with you. Now, though we may rationalize and justify our poor attitudes, it's not my fault, someone stole my wallet, I was punched in the face, someone ate my dog, whatever our excuses are, the fact is, what we think and feel directly affects our performance. So if you're not performing at 100%, if you're not performing successfully, the first place I advise any salesperson, individual, or call agent is at themselves. How are you feeling? What are you thinking about? What is on your mind? What is in your heart? Our attitudes are easily picked up on by other customers as well as our coworkers. And ultimately, our attitudes affect our success, our coworkers' success, and our company's success. It's so important that we are cognizant of that. In fact, the worst thing I see in a call center or in a sales environment or in a personal environment is a negative attitude spread. And it spreads like a wildfire because one person came in feeling grumpy. And they're grumpy causes other people to feel grumpy. Why was that person rude to me? I don't know why. I didn't do anything to them. And then they're grumpy because somebody else was rude to them because they feel like they need to be rude to someone else. So that attitude can really, really, really be contagious. And we need to focus on making it not contagious. Let's continue building our foundation. Taking control of a natural reactive state of being is a lot harder than it sounds. I mean, it sounds easy, but how do we do it? Here's a method that has been put into place by a few universities that have shown some great results in those studies. The first recommendation is, every day, write down 3 things that you are grateful for. Now, these things must be new things and very specific. Nothing general like your health or I'm grateful that, I'm not sick, or they must be specific things. Also, the second recommendation is to journal every day. Take time to detail one meaningful event. The brain cannot differentiate between reality and visualization. You will relive the positive experience. This adjusts the brain cells from a task-based perspective to a meaning-based one. And that's something to think about. So by writing things down, we make those things more real than what they were by just living it. We add an impact on those things. And you'll relive the positive experiences, which will help you get rid of the negative ones, which will in turn turn the course of your sales. Another great thing, which is being done less and less, is exercise daily. The same Harvard study showed that executives who exercise in the morning are better equipped to deal with their jobs at 2 p.m. In fact, you'll look at a group of people who exercise every day, even a little bit of exercise, going for a walk, going for a brief jog, running in place, doing some yoga, any type of exercise, however intense is up to you, does improve the brain, and it improves the chemicals in the body. In fact, it creates endorphins in your brain, which allows us to feel better about things. Another really great technique is meditation for 2 minutes a day. This helps your brain to focus better on a challenge, increasing your chances of success. Meditation on focusing on how to have a better attitude, meditation on focusing on positive responses and positive interactions will really help you throughout the day. Another recommendation by this same study, this Harvard study, says send random acts of kindness every morning to someone different on your support team. This is extremely beneficial because social support is the greatest predictor of job satisfaction. Compliment counts. Anything that you can think of that'd be positive, maybe make their job a little bit easier. Anything you can think of to help them feel better about themselves will in turn help you feel better about yourself, because they're going to want to reciprocate that act of kindness back to you or maybe to another coworker. And this is where we make positive attitude become contagious in the work environment. Now this is the most important part. Follow up. Normally when I do these trainings, I actually have teams broken up where I make people follow up with other people. And the next day when we do our next training, those people followed up with me about how you followed up with them. It's so important that we follow up with someone else and report our activities. This motivates us to make sure we're doing those activities every single day. So I strongly recommend that you find someone that you work with that you can report to your activities every single day. Maybe like a team leader, someone that you just look up to and respect, and maybe as a mentor. And follow up these activities, these attitude building activities every single day. Because this will not work. It will not improve your skills, and the Inception method will not be successful if you do not follow these tasks and follow up with someone else. So by doing these tasks, these 5 simple tasks every day for 21 days consecutively, you are not only training your brain to become a satisfied brain, but you're also spreading a positive attitude, which can be just as contagious as a negative one. So it's so important that we do these tasks every day, we follow up with them, because we're going to train our brain to become positive. In today's world, most people have a negatively trained brain. And it's not their fault. It's just that's how society is becoming. And we want to train our brain to become satisfied or positive. And if our brains are satisfied and positive, then our customers will be too. And that's just a simple fact. Remember, the greatest misconception is that happiness comes as a result of success. The fact is, happiness does not come as a result of success. Success comes as a result of happiness. Thank you for taking the time to view this attitude training for the Inception method. Please view the next training video and move forward. Thank you for watching the Inception method training.